3DVIA Composer 2013 provides many new features that users will surely enjoy, but let's do a quick recap over what 3DVIA Composer allows us to do. It's a great tool for creating a variety of forms of technical communications, including traditional paper documents such as parts lists, bill of materials, and assembly instructions, as well as more interactive online documentation. In this example, we're going to create a simple parts list to show some of the new capabilities as well as review what 3DVIA Composer allows us to do. To start, we'll want to take a look at a few of the graphical settings, including the environment. We can turn off things such as the grid on the floor, the mirrored surface, and shadows. We can also change the rendering characteristics of the model itself. Here, we have a variety of traditional formats, including a traditional silhouette style mode. This is what we'll be using for our parts list, because in the end, we're going to be publishing this as a tech pub. Next, we'll want to save this view and create an exploded view of it. To do this, we can quickly and easily utilize the exploded views that are created in our engineering tool, in our case, Solidworks. However, we'll show how 3DVIA Composer can be used to create these itself. Fairly quickly and easily on screen, we can choose manipulation tools that allow us to simply drag and drop the individual components in our design into their new locations to be shown appropriately in an exploded view. In this case, it's a bearing cover, a bearing, and the 4 fasteners that hold it on. To show how these fasteners go into place, we might want to add some trail lines. This is where the authoring tools in 3DVIA Composer come in. The associative and non-associative paths are a great way to quickly and easily create trail lines on our design. However, as you can see, they appear over our geometry in some cases, and they don't necessarily match our styles. In this case, we're going to select the 4 trail lines and change some of these properties in the lower left. In this case, we're going to change whether or not it stays on top or visible through geometry, and the color. We could also change things such as the line type style that we want to use, as well as width, opacity, and many other properties. Once this is done, we'll add a few callouts to specifically detail the individual items. In this case, we're really interested in just showing the items that are involved in these steps of the process. You'll notice that as we added these callouts, however, though, they were placed a little haphazardly. This is where the magnetic line in 3DVIA Composer comes in. It's a great way to clean a nice, clean, technical illustration. The magnetic line actually attaches individual annotations to it in somewhat of a magnetic fashion, hence its name. New in 3DVIA Composer 2013 is the ability to align this magnetic line to the model geometry itself. This ensures a nice clean view and that all items appear where we want on screen. Now we're going to want to make a little room for a few more items that are going to appear here. So we're going to go ahead and adjust the placement of these components. And you can see that it's done fairly easily. The next thing we want to add is the bill of material or parts list itself. We'll do this using one of the many workshops available in 3DVIA Composer. You can see there's quite a few available, and we'll take a look at a few of these. In this case, we're specifically interested in adding a bill of material or a parts list. In this case, we simply need to click a button and it's added. There's a variety of options here as well. You'll notice that this parts list only includes the items we've added callouts to. We can choose to override that option and whether or not this parts list can be highlighted. We can also specifically regulate how much of the graphics area this parts list takes up. Now that we've added our parts list, we may want to call out a few other operations. New in 2013 is the introduction of the new image library. It's filled with a variety of widgets for calling out specific operations to your design. In our case, we want to specify oiling that needs to take place to a bearing and the unfastening of a few fasteners. We can turn on attachments and simply drag and drop these onto the relevant components or geometry on screen to call them out so the end user knows exactly what needs to take place. Finally, users can add their own images to this library as well. This ensures that any branding or styles that need to be applied can be done quickly and easily. As this documentation is done, we may want to publish it in a more traditional format, in our case in SVG. We'll do this using the Technical Illustration Workshop, and quickly clicking Preview will generate the new SVG for us. As the SVG is created, we can see that it's more than just a simple publication. It's an interactive document in its own right. As we hover over items on screen, they highlight the relevant items down in the parts list below. This works the alternate way as well. This is especially useful for those individual items that don't have individual callouts applied to them either. As you can see, 3DVIA Composer makes it extremely quick and easy to create a technical illustration amongst a variety of others.